Welcome back to the channel. We started a new job today, and this job is potentially going to be quite interesting, especially for me. It's extensions, isn't it?
Yep.
However, we are only doing, I say we, I'm just here labouring and helping him set out. We are just doing up to damp, aren't we?
Yep. Yep.
So we're doing everything associated with digging your hole, setting it out, digging your hole, putting your concrete in, up to damp proof, up to DPC brickwork, so which is 150 above your ground level, and then we're walking away, aren't we?
Yeah.
We put the concrete floor in as well.
Concrete flooring. Yep. Yep.
But what's interesting about this one, again for me anyway, is the fact it's got a raft design, which means a lot of steels going in it, a lot of cages, not just a standard dig a hole, put concrete in, build off it. We can't do that. It's got to be a raft. So that'll be interesting. So if that's something that interests you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then notifications to make sure it tells you when this episode's going to be on concurrently, week after week. Even though it might only be two or three weeks in a run. Well, let's wait and see how we get on. So the extension then is coming from here, from there, that point, out to what is the back of the house there at the moment. And then there's going to be a doorway back into the extension there. I think the wall's about here. Is that right, Luke? About here somewhere?
Yeah, something. Yeah. Right there. Where you
and there's a doorway back in. And this is going to be kitchen.
Kitchen, yeah. There's a little downstairs toilet.
Downstairs toilet, the other side of that wall.
Yep.
That's got to come out as well. We're going to knock through into there. Downstairs toilet, and then a little bit of a garage left at the front.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
So that's it then. Like I say, we've got to mark all this out now. Start getting everything up, shifting everything, and mark out for our footings. Our initial works have been completed then. We've already had a grab lorry full come and go. So what we're doing now, we are getting our level off that step over there. What we want to make sure is that we get the correct height of our finished floor when we come to screed this floor. Because what you don't want to do is make your floor up, and then when you take that up there, you've got two lots of tiles and you've got 30 mil, and you end up being too high on this one, and you can't get the right amount of screed on, for example, on this floor. So in this floor now, how far down this floor we're going?
Finished floor 325.
325 down.
From finished floor.
From finished floor, which make up back then of
150 subfloor.
150 hardcore, yeah. You have. I was going to say, I'm not going to.
I've gone to.
I'm not going to question you,
Yeah.
but I know it's more than that.
You did.
150 hardcore,
Yeah.
sand blinding 50 mil,
Yeah.
150 DPM, 150 concrete subfloor,
Yeah.
DPM
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
and then your 100mm Celotex,
Yeah.
Kingspan, whatever it's going to
Yeah.
be.
Then more DPM.
Then more DPM, and then screen on top of that, isn't it?
It's Friday.
It is Friday. It's been a hard week. If you've been following the channel, you will know that we are, when we talked about our patio area, where we're finishing, saying we're going to a new job tomorrow, this is where we are now, finishing the week. We thought it was going to be a little bit easier, but it's not. It's been a bit of hard graft again, breaking all this out. So there we are. The sun's shining and it is lovely, and we're able to work in t-shirts. So in a minute, we'll have a good look at what we're doing, and then what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to grade all this off to our new level to work back up again, because we want to find the drains. New drain's got to go in all the way through, new fell drain all the way back to the stack, which is around the corner. So we've got to find all that. I've also got a lead main there as well, which we've got to try and find, so we can eventually pull that back and reconnect that as well. That's what we're going to do. So we'll carry on with that, and we'll get back to you in a minute. So believe it or not, this is the first time we filmed today, and I think it's about 24. Don't quite know what you may have caught on the time-lapse camera there, because I don't know whether the digger was in the way or whatever, but bit of an unexpected day for us today. The customer's not been very well over the weekend, and as a consequence of that, this bit of a jut out that was here with the bison beams on and a bit of concrete thickener on the top, we've had to take it all down today. So we had to shift, I think it was 5 or 6 beams off the top of there, because it was a bit of a drop ceiling. If you caught it on the footage when I was filming before, a bit lower than that one, because that now spans that way, because it's by the steels. Look, if you look at it, this must have been put on after for some reason, and the 9-inch went down the side of that one, and like I said, there was just some beams went across here with a bit of concrete thickening on top of it. So we've took those down, we've took this bit of a block wall down, and also we've taken out this bit of a doorway, which is good, because it was lower than me and my height, and I'll clattered my head off it twice, so I'm glad it's gone. So you might not have caught much, and all we've done then is we've took that nib off as well, took all that down so that's nice and clean, suck the saw through that. So what we're going to do now, I think, is we're going to tidy up, put stuff away, and then we're going to have a look at starting digging for the footings. We've also got to put a bit of a thickening around there as well, around the perimeter of the existing, of 150 deep. From that level, which if you remember from footage a few minutes ago, that level there now is our absolute sub-base level, where before we start building back up again with all our layers we talked about. So we've got to go 150 down from that, and then when we pour the concrete, it gets encapsulated with the, put 150 hardcore on there now, and then the sand and the DPM, and then we pour the concrete, it'll go into there. From looking at the design, I think he's put the drawing away now, but it's almost like an elephant's foot, I'll call it, where you have like a step of concrete that like an L shape into there and drops into there, just a thickening around the existing footing. And then we'll dig the footing across here, all the way across here, and then I believe the footing comes back across about here, because it steps in there because there's a doorway comes out of here and coming a bit of an entryway back down here. And that's it. So I think it was more interpretation of plans. Customer thought it finished there, but it doesn't. It starts there, not there. So they've obviously, in their eyes now, they've gained a little bit. But that is as per plans. So we'll get our stuff away, and in a minute, if we do get time, we'll talk about what's happening here. The next faces you'll see will be more than likely Matt and Luke, because I'm not going to be here for the next rest of the week. It's Monday. I'm having the week off for my birthday. It's a big one. I'm 21 again. Double that and plus a bit. So we're going away to...
What about how old you are?
I haven't said. They're going to say 60. So yes, I'm going to go away for a few days. My wife and I go a few days and keep out of people's way.
Morning everybody, a brand new day today. Rich isn't here, it's his birthday, and we couldn't let him in, unfortunately, because the amount of candles that would have to be on his cake, it's a major fire risk, so health and safety wouldn't really appreciate that, so we've left him at home. But I'm going to run you through what I'm doing today anyway, and I'll show you that now. So what I've started doing is digging the footings and digging this down to the level of the hardcore. Basically, Richard will put you a picture of the design and everything on the screen, which you've got to follow. So basically, there's a thickening all around the perimeter of the extension. Here will be 2 layers of mesh on the internal side. Yet to dig that bit down there, but coming round here, then this is a proper foot in there where the Z bars and more mesh is going to sit in from there. The water I'll have to chase back, and I'm probably going to bring that back above where the Z bar sits in the concrete through a duct, and bring that then into the kitchen area, which is roughly where that dirt you can see on the screen there, and that's where there's going to be an island for a sink, and that'll be really nice. So yeah, but the rest of the day I'm just going to carry on digging along here, pick up there should be some drains underneath these slabs, so I'm going to pick those up, chase that back, expose that so I don't block myself in, and I can't get over when I carry on digging the footings. But yeah, that's what my job is today. So today we're going to do a bit of drainage. So as you can see down here, we've got this old manhole, and we're going to be taking this out, putting a new manhole in, and all new pipework. So yeah, that's today's job, renewing all this. There's going to be a couple of junctions coming off it, one for a sink, island sink that's going to be up that corner, and then a new downstairs toilet that's going to go up roughly where the digger is there now. So yeah, not really looking forward to this, are you, Matt?
Well, can we say it's a bit of a crap job?
It is a crap job, isn't it?
Bum bum.
Yeah, dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Exactly.
So, and unfortunately, it's me and you. So typical Rich has gone on holiday and left us to it, hasn't he? So he always gets away with the good jobs.
the pretty stuff.
The pretty stuff.
Yes. Well, there we have it.
Back on site today of this foundation works up to DPC brickwork that we're doing before we hand it over to another brickie to carry on with the extension. Interesting times are here, obviously. The mesh is here on site. Space, I think they're called spacers for the mesh in the bottom of the footing. Mixers out, but I don't think we're doing the mixing today, that's for sure. Good morning.
Good morning, Richard.
This is take 2, because I've dropped my microphone. I'm going to start again. Shall we say it again? Have you missed me?
Not really.
Excellent. He didn't say that last time. Okay. It is deja vu, isn't it? So, okay.
I missed you really, Rich.
Footing for the rear of the extension.
Yeah.
Because that garage is staying.
Yeah.
This wall's going. Doorway in there, is there?
Yes, there is a fire door.
Doorway in there, fire door into the garage. And then small bathroom.
Small bathroom, yeah.
Saw pipe for the bathroom.
Yeah.
The bath, that's for the small utility.
Yes.
See, I know all this now before I had to ask him this, but now I'm just telling you where I think makes me look really clever. I know what I'm doing. The time lapse that Luke and Matt very kindly did for me finished about here when they were putting this in before they started connecting back to the existing, from what I can remember. I only edited it last night as well. So it's all pea gravelled, it's all inspected, everyone's happy. Just got the pea gravel over the top. Now, I've got to show you this. Can't ignore it. Look at that. It's like a work of art, isn't it? Look at it. The inspector wasn't happy with, some inspectors are happy with just insulation wrapped around it, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And then just taped,
Yeah.
like we've done before, and they're happy with that. And that's just to not protect the pipe as such, it's just for the concrete doesn't sit directly on the pipe, isn't it? However, maybe it was because it's got mesh in it, maybe it's because it's not as thick as it normally is, I don't know. He wanted a format done, didn't he?
Yeah, to be fair, that is probably a better kind of practice as well, isn't it, really?
I suppose it is,
so,
but
yeah.
it's a lot of work just for wrapping the pipe into
It is, yeah.
a cylindrical pipe that it's going to have equal pressures on it all the way around. Anyway, let's not get into that. That's a different video. That's like a physics video. So obviously the inspection chamber's in, that was there, the old clay looking thing that's all, is it benched when they do a drain?
Yes.
All benched, it was all benched everything, which is always a lovely work of art I think, but obviously these pre-formed now. Connection to the mains is done, and this footing isn't as deep is because of it being a raft foundation.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that just means that it's got mesh in it in the
Yeah.
bottom. Sitting on those spacers I've just shown in the video,
Yeah.
them concrete spacer things. Is that what they're called, spacers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes the mesh sit off the dirt, just so the concrete goes underneath it and encapsulates the mesh in the concrete. And then you Z bars and
we've got three layers of bars in the bottom as well. So
3 layers of rebar in the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Lovely. We're going to have to show you, aren't we? Because we can always get a bit confused because I've never done it before. So there we are. Oh, and the foundation's already marked, top of the slab there, look, with the screws sprayed. So there we are. Profile board set up. Should we, for the second time, should we walk that way and then just get on with it? Let's do it. So the first job is cut the mesh. So we're going to get that done and then we will start installing them, which we can show you in a minute. What these things do is do these sit like that? And you just sit it on top of it? So they just sit like that. See, I'm learning as you are, if you haven't seen this before. That just sits in the bottom on the dirt now, and the mesh sits on top of that like that.
It's called Mars bar, that is.
They're called Mars bars?
Yeah, that's what I like using them.
Oh, like, because you like Mars bars. Yeah, Mars bar, oh, there we go then. And these just get broke like that. Look, you can break it yourself, and there we are. Unless, of course, when the guy comes to drop them off, he just literally just kicks it off the wagon, and then they'll smash anyway. Which is nice, isn't it? Once you've cut your mesh, and this is all me working off instruction now from Luke, you cut your mesh and you cut it to a width so it doesn't go outside of your footing. So this has been cut to 500. Well, this one's actually 450, this piece, because it's the offcut of what's left at the end, if that makes sense. So we don't waste mesh. But drop it in your footing so again it doesn't stick out the other side and starts obviously gets rusty. And then when you overlap them, you cut it 2 full squares. Luke, is that right?
Yeah, overlap it 2 squares.
Overlap it 2 full squares.
2 full squares, yeah.
So all we do then, find that, put my glasses on, and then cut these there like that. And that's it. And then we have to tie them together, which we'll do in a minute. We'll show you how we're going to do that. Nothing fancy, no fancy tying mechanisms or anything. We're just going to do it with the old snips and do it that way. I'll put this mesh on that end now to overlap as it goes, a little bit of a return there. And then we'll show you the next stage. We aren't going to show you all of this because, well, we might do, who knows. So I'll cut this one. And then we'll start tying it together and we'll show you the rebar and the Z bars and all that business. So we put our first layer of mesh in. Now we haven't put our Mars bars, as Luke calls them, under yet, because he said it's best to tie it first. And what we're doing with these bits of rebar now is that is our spacing. Now, on the drawing that you can see again, I'm pointing to it, this is the design. It's 2 layers of mesh at the bottom. So we're going to space it apart using this little bits of rebar. And we've just been to fetch the tie wire, because they hadn't sent us any. And now we're tying it. So, how are you tying it, mate?
So basically,
How are you doing it? Because we haven't got no Fandango tools. Because it's not something we do all the time. However, I'm that mental with my tools, I'll probably go and buy something and probably never use it again. There we are. And that's quite a thick gauge wire, that is, as well, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's fairly good. This wire is
So that's got that. That's definitely got it.
So I have used the tying machines before, but whenever I've used it, it's always seemed that the wire's always been really loose.
Because you
And the
used a
cage is
Makita
really-
proper one, didn't you? Proper
Yeah,
machine battery
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
But you said it was
And then
loose.
I found I had to go back every time after, and I was tying wire anyway to strengthen it all.
Just to make it tighter.
Yeah, because it was too loose.
So this is the idea now behind us leaving the Mars bars out, because now we can pick the whole mesh up like that. We can pick the lot up and put it underneath rather than having to deal with individual sort of bits all the way down. And then what you're thinking then, Luke, just getting some of this and dropping it on there,
Yeah,
like
drop it on
that.
there, we'll tie it to the thing.
And then in effect what we'll have then is another one on top of there, and that'll go on top of there like that. And that'll give us our bit of a space between the 2 rolls of mesh, like
Yep.
that, if you can sort of see that on there. That's the idea behind that. Well, it makes sense to me.
I mean, so I thought of it.
Huh?
Because then I think of it.
I think you did think of
Yeah,
it, that's what makes
that's
sense.
what
But yeah, there's no design on there how to keep them apart, is there?
No.
But they've got to be apart because there's no point in them being on top of each other. That doesn't make sense. You might as well use a thicker gauge mesh, ain't you? That's the case.
Yeah, you want some thickness.
But that's a great idea.
Between, don't you?
I think that's a great idea.
Definitely.
Because what size bar is that? 20 mil.
Yeah, it's big stuff that is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be. That's 20 mil, isn't it? Or yeah, it might be 3/4, 19 mil or something. It might be empty. There we are then. So we'll continue to do that, and we'll come back to you when we start putting these Mars bars in and show you what we're thinking about it. So that's done. It's all tied, nice and tight. Lie there, overlapped, and then make sure we've overlapped properly. Set it all on there. We then put an extra bar in just to carry the joint of the 2 bits of mesh there, and again that's nice and tight. This is all done all the way around there now. So now what we're doing is, these are the Z bars now.
So yes, so what I did the other day, I set up my what are they called again?
Profile board. I think they're called profile boards.
Profile boards. So I marked out where my brick wall was going to be.
So that's your external course.
That's the external wall.
Face of external.
Yeah. Then I've got the cavity.
Yeah.
And then this is the internal.
So you're doing 100mm cavity with the 90mm Celotex.
Now this is 130mm cavity. This is.
Okay.
That's what it's asked for. Yeah.
130.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what it's got on there.
Oh, so what have you got to use? The cavity Celotex stuff.
I believe that's what it's using. Yeah, but it's just asked for 133mm cavity on this.
133mm cavity.
Yeah.
I'm sure when they're drawing it, they'll have a laugh to themselves. You know, when they're drawing them in the office,
Yeah,
they'll go,
yeah.
"Here, lads, this will have them. Watch
Yeah.
this."
The building inspector did say I could either reduce it or make it bigger if I wanted to just use the, the fluffy insulation and stuff like that. But
The normal Rockwell 150.
But we're only doing it up to DPC, aren't we? And then
Yeah.
somebody else is coming and take all the glory work after we've done all the hard work.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. So.
So
I'm
we're
now
doing,
going off the drawings here.
but they should be using. I'll put it on the screen now. The stuff we're using. I don't know what it's called exactly. Is it just cavity insulation?
Yes.
But
yeah,
it's PIR cavity
yeah,
insulation,
yeah.
which has got like and it's got like a. Go on, tell me. Tongue and groove on it, isn't it?
Yes,
It's not standard PIR. It's like a
And
450 high.
Yeah. for
To,
brick
to
gauge,
go into
yeah.
in between your brick ties, isn't it?
Yeah.
To brick gauge, yeah. So
And then you silver tape the joints after. As well.
yes, as you go, because with that stuff though, you got to have enough room, haven't you, to build your outer skin first.
Yeah.
And put your insulation against your. Is it? Does it go against or against the internal?
blockwork.
No, your internal first here.
Yeah. Yeah. Internal first.
Build your
it's
internal
against
first.
that, Yeah.
Put the insulation against it. Then your brick tie has a disc on it, doesn't it?
It does to hold it back. Yeah.
To hold the insulation tight. I'll try and put it on the screen just so we know what we're talking about. And then there's a gap then, isn't there? From your inside. So imagine that's your cavity now. There's a gap then. So your insulation go in there and your disc goes onto your brick tie to hold the insulation. And there's normally a gap there then between your external brickwork and insulation. Insulation goes tight to your internal block.
Yeah.
Again, I'll put it on the screen if I can find some proper images of it. So we digressed then, didn't we? So that's your external, that's your cavity, that's your internal.
Yes. So I'll put that screw mark in there.
Yeah.
I've set it 50mm back because I know that's going to be the face of our concrete when we pour that against, because the subfloor's all cast in one with the footing, with the cage, with the raft design.
Okay.
Okay. So you should always leave yourself with any reinforcement. Any reinforcement, you always want a 50mm.
Yes, so you've got
Space.
coverage of your concrete.
Coverage of your concrete.
A bit like we
Yes.
said about the mesh, we made sure it's not tight to the edge of the footing. So when the concrete goes in, it covers all the ends of your steel, so it's not exposed to weather for rust and stuff, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
And strength, I'm presuming as well.
Yeah, because if it does rust, it can break the concrete down, and push through and stuff like that then,
Right.
and crack the concrete. So you always want to allow yourself 50mm cover. So what we're going to do now, so I've now set that mark. That's going to be where my Z bars, my face and my Z bars are going to come to. So it's going to be there to that line. So that's where I'm going to set that to. So I'll tie one in each corner now, one in the middle, and then I'll string my top steel all the way along, and then we can drop some vertical steels in, just hammer them in, just so we can keep it at a straight line, if that makes sense. But it'll make more sense as we're doing it.
Just realised I haven't put a microphone on the outside, you can hear me all right. So you can see a little fluffy thing there now, so that's keep between us. So what he's saying is that he's got to put that Z bar in there now, 50mm in. So that
So that
upright
line corresponds
will
to
be
that.
set to the centre, in effect, set to the centre of your block above.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Because then the block wall sits on top of this steel.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get in the middle so you can hear both
Oh,
of us.
okay,
I should
sorry.
have put a microphone on. I hope you can hear me okay. It's my own fault. We said let's get this done quick and then we can carry on. But okay. So what we're gonna have to show you, aren't we, and explain a bit more because it's confusing me a little bit. Because what we've got to do, we've got to pour the footing first.
It classes like a toe, I suppose.
A toe, yes.
Yeah.
Pour the footing first. Build 3/4 of external brickwork. 3/4
That's how I build it up to DPC.
up to DPC.
Yeah.
And then you're saying you have to put
my polystyrene.
Polystyrene against it,
Yeah.
which is temporarily.
Yeah.
To then pour this slab concrete against it, which then encapsulates all of this. But this has also got a radon barrier on it as well,
Yeah.
which is like a DPM, but it's not. It's like a radon because if you don't know what radon is, it's a gas that emits from the ground, and you have to put a barrier on, you have to tape it properly. So that's on this as well. So if you've got a radon barrier on yours, we're doing this on this job as well. I think we're going to have to show them, aren't we? Because it's going to confuse me a little bit, I think. If you don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we'll be going through all of this in detail as we go, because for my benefit as well as yours. So we'll just get on with it, I think, because we're going to start confusing things, aren't we?
Right then, hopefully you can see a bit more now of what we were talking about earlier on. So we've got 2 layers of mesh in the bottom, and then we've spaced that out with a bit of 20mm bar in between the 2 layers of mesh. We've got the concrete spacers underneath that then, and then what we did after that, then we tied our Z bars, which are these that come up and across. So then we tied them in, and then put that 20mm piece of steel all across the top, and then we have had to put another 3 pieces of bar, extra reinforcing there, there and there, and we've done that now all the way along, which goes all round there and then round there. So basically what we do now is we pour the first part of the foundation up to the screw line, which is there, which Rich is pointing out. So we pour that first, and then we lay our bricks then on the edge of the raft foundation.
The external course of bricks.
The external bricks.
External course, yeah.
Yeah, and then we bring that up, and then basically the second pour then, which was with the subfloor, then you get some proper the big sheets of reinforcement mesh then sit on the top of these, the top of the Z bars, and that forms the big subfloor.
So you'll gravel your. So I get it in my. So you'll put your gravel on here normally.
Yeah.
But you said you're going to reinforce the joints with concrete.
Yeah.
Because of the weight on it.
Yeah.
Then you'll hardcore.
Yeah.
To give you your layer.
Yeah.
To get to your 150 down from your concrete. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you'll hardcore this then. But that's already poured. So this is why I couldn't get it in my head.
Yeah.
So you've got to pour your foot in first. To encapsulate all the Z bars,
yeah,
which then joins the Z bars to the floor.
Yes.
And then you build your brickwork skin, outer skin up first.
Yeah.
To what sort? This sort of height?
Yeah.
So what, 3 above up to damp.
Yeah, I'll take it right up to DPC then.
And then you said you got to put, which I couldn't work out. You put some 100mm polystyrene against that.
Yeah.
To pour against.
To pour against.
And then you take that out, don't you?
Yeah, because that creates the cavity then.
Because you've got to put your radon barrier under your outer skin, haven't you?
Yeah, under
and it comes up. And then into your. Where does that go? Does that go on top of your insulation?
So that'll fit on top of the
concrete.
On top of the concrete, then the subfloor.
Right. So on top, over the top of these Z bars. In
yes.
Effect.
Yeah.
So you'll. What overlap you gonna have on your radon?
I'd have to double check.
300 or something.
I'd have to double check that. Yeah.
I know it's a good overlapping. And you've got that special tape as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got
that
the tape.
Really thick sort of what's it tape. So I'm presuming you'll cut a piece then, put it under your first row of bricks.
Yeah.
First course. And then cut a piece with you.
Like a big apron,
and then,
yeah.
And then flap it back. And then when you're ready to pour this one, you can flap it on there and then flap that one over the top and put the tape on.
That's
Right,
it, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all interesting. So this is an interesting one. I hope you find it interesting as well. I thought I'd get Luke to explain it because it was spinning my head. I've looked at the drawing, but never done it before. And I wouldn't want to because I'm a carpenter. I don't do this kind of thing, but I do now.
I think once you've done it once, you get it ain't so bad then, is it? It's just knowing, where all the bars
You've
go.
got to pour it all separately, and you've got your
Still fixing now as well as it should be.
I'm sure we'll get some comments saying it isn't. I think I did one Z-bar to your 6.
No, you don't. You got better than that.
Yeah,
a lot better.
It's definitely a knack to get you and then start yourself. It's definitely a knack when you're just twisting with a pair of pliers. But I think, like you said, there's definitely seems better than the machines because it's a bit tighter.
Yeah, it's a lot tighter. Yeah,
especially if you're trying to hold it like we are. I mean, these are solid. These are, and if you're trying to do it with a machine, it doesn't do it as tight. As
no, I always like a problem when because they tie them quite slack. You find that the cage keeps moving all the time. Yeah.
I mean, we've braced it and we've gone against the wall there and gone against the wall over there. So this is solid compared to considering it's a standalone thing. It's good. Like it. What are we doing to either, Luke?
Bit more still fixing down the bottom.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to the water, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to change the water.
Take this leg out and go into the house if we can.
Yeah, and that's the connection for there. It's currently down there somewhere, so I'm just going to expose that and form a nice connection down there, aren't we, Rich?
I think so. I hope it's sunshine again tomorrow.
It is.
Fresh though, isn't it? But it's not off my nose, no, is it?
No, you're more right at the minute. Yeah.
I have to keep dabbing my nose, so I keep finding little just going bloop, bloop.
That's what's created all that water down there, look.
Welcome back to a new day, and it's not started great today. I've just dropped some material. The job ready for Matt to carry on boarding and skimming. And do you know you get that anger deep down inside when you see something? Let me show you what I mean. So I've pulled up on the driveway, and then I come round the corner, and I'm about to say good morning to Luke, and then I see this. Look at this. Can you understand why I've got this anger deep down inside me? Look at him cutting wood up.
I was going to surprise you again.
What do you think you're doing?
Hello.
What does your man look like?
Morning, Andy. So our I say not a new main, but the connection is in now. That's in place. That's just a temporary water feed going over there. So we put that in place as temporary, but we put a stopcock on so we can isolate it when the lads start to build. Because don't forget, we're only going up to foundations on this one. And then the new water pipe goes in. And what we've done then temporary, we've connected it onto here. Because what we have found, there were 2 feeds. So there's a T there, look. So what we've done is we have come onto this side of it. And then what we're going to do is when we come to disconnect the house, because that goes into the house now, and this is the one that went all the way down there and then was in a big pile of snot down there. So what happened is, we'll leave this boxing exposed now. Leave this boxing exposed, so we'll concrete up to and around it, form a nice boxing. And then when we're ready, and we can disconnect the house, because there's no longer any need for that feed, because the kitchen's going to be there, hence the new water feed there. We can then cut this there and put that on there and eliminate all of this lead as well. So at least we've eliminated quite a lot of lead there. Then what we've done off screen then, we've put all this shutter in as well, just so we can pea gravel everything. Now they've got to be topped up a little bit, but we've only got half a bag there now. So we thought we'd get this topped up. That's all topped up all around there and covered all the pipes over there now, so we can then backfill that. Again, this should just be topped up a little bit more with a half a bag, a little bit more in there needed. This part has been left for now because it's going to make sure that this feed here comes up the inside of the internal block work, so you might have to shorten it slightly or make it longer, but it's going to be widened slightly. Hence we want to leave that in case he's got to cut it and redo it. That connection there is going to go that way, is it?
Yeah, and across here.
Comes across here and around there for a utility.
Toilet.
Toilet in there, okay. That one's utility.
Yeah, that's for, yeah.
Floor drain for utility, right, okay. So there we are, ready for concrete, aren't we? 100% ready for concrete. And this is our line we've got to do. That line there represents 50 mil in from the
Internal block work.
internal block work.
Yeah. So
Right.
the internal block work sits on top of all this steel cage, really.
Right. So the 50 mil block work goes that way. So when you pour your concrete against that block work,
Yeah.
It-
The true
that
core will be
all
out
of
here.
that
Yeah.
will be inside the right.
Yeah, inside the concrete. Yeah.
I hope you lot who are watching this understand it more than me. Just get it. I have to keep saying, hang on. So let me just question that again. Let me just clarify that again. But it is what it is. We did something for the first time, but I've really enjoyed doing this. I've got to say, I really have. So you've enjoyed watching it as much as we've enjoyed doing it. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Ready for the next episode from this groundwork series, as we're going to call it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Seems we're only going up to DPC on this one, but all the hard work's going to be done, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the hard work
all
done.
that. They get
Ready
the
for
glory.
the glory shot from the bricker that comes after us. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.